Charlotte man from North Carolina, Decarlos Brown, and Arena Zarutska. I think I'm saying that right. She's also a refugee from Ukraine. Now, she left that place because it's all messed up. Globalists came in there and destroyed it for their own benefit to launder money and try to hide biological labs so they could facilitate weird stuff. And because of such, a lot of people are just are having a tough time in Ukraine. And I stand for America, by the way, but this is a sad story because this woman actually came in from that area, became a productive citizen in North Carolina, got a job, keeping herself up. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up again is because DeCarlos Brown's mom actually says, "Hey, I don't even think should have been out on the street. He was had just got out of prison for a violent robbery that was armed, by the way, and did 5 years, I believe, and comes home to live with her. And he was doing really weird things, being extremely aggressive and just outlandish. And she said, I had to kick him out. He's crazy. The mother actually does say, my heart goes out to that family. She said, I really hate that happened. It never should have happened.
A local reporter named Joe Bruno who put this on social media about what the suspect's mother said about her own son. She says when Brown was released from prison, Brown's mom said he started saying weird things. She says she got Brown evaluated, but his behavior became aggressive. So she got an involuntary commitment order from the courts. He was placed under psychiatric monitoring for 2 weeks and diagnosed with schizophrenia. But after he was released, she says Brown became so aggressive she had to kick him out. He became homeless. Brown's mom says the court should have never let her son out in the community knowing he had mental health issues and previous arrests.
And was just disappointed and heartbroken by the whole thing. That was her statement. Now, she did go on to say that things like the reason why she kicked him out is because of his mental instability and him saying weird things like he was out of his body and all the stuff. And he just saying really outland, had her kind of frightened that he was living there, which, this is teeing this up for where they could try this case as he wasn't all there. He was mentally unwell. And that's actually part of the whole thing right now while he's being held in custody under no bond. This time, there's actual mental health assessment being done. I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's that far out there. I think he's just a piece of trash, in my opinion, because all criminals are a little crazy, but they are in their right mind enough. They know what they're doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. He just thought he could get away with it. And to a certain extent, if they're able to try this case under the guise of mental health, he may just do a light sentence, in a mental health facility, which will be just cream puff, and then technically he will have gotten away with it. These people that do mental health assessments in the Department of Corrections typically are activists as well, because their job in their mind, they want to try to find justice for the person who did the crime, because he's mentally unwell, so we need to take care of that. It's not his fault. This is the disease and all this stuff. So we'll see how this goes. But the mother does take enough. She has enough kindness in her heart to apologize on behalf of her son. That's better than what we've seen out of most of these kind of cases where a non-white person has done seriously bad harm to a white person, and then somehow or another the mom comes out and sues the non-white, sues the family that the crime happened to, because it's just so. This is actually a breath of fresh air, but it could go in that direction. However, we'll just have to wait and see on that. But Josh Stein, the dude who's the mayor of North Carolina. I'm sorry, not mayor. That's Evie Lyles or something like that. I'll show you her in a minute. But Josh Stein, the governor, tries to say something and he gets obliterated on Twitter. He should have just kept his mouth shut. Not because of his ugly gap tooth and his lying tongue, but just because he's an asshole. But before I get into that, I want to lighten the load a little bit and show you Joe Biden, a classic video of him introducing Elton John onto the stage and blaming him for the AIDS epidemic at the same time. This is epic, guys. Check this out.
By the way, it's all his fault that we're spending $6 billion in taxpayer money this month to help fight HIV/AIDS. By the way,
You guys. If Joe Biden wasn't like, if he was faking this was the ultimate troll on America right here. If he was faking his dementia, they say that dude that worked for the CIA that is in a care facility home is faking his. They say he's faking his dementia, so he has to get out. He doesn't have to be in a deposition. But the look on the look on Elton John's face.
It's all his fault that we're spending
The bad thing is when South Park did that cartoon episode of him, it just about nails Elton John's face.
$6 billion in taxpayer money this month to help AIDS fight HIV/AIDS.
To help AIDS, HIV/AIDS. That right there is the Adderall that they used to mainline jab into his system along with mRNA to keep him functional through radio frequencies.